Hello, greetings, and welcome to our webinar tutorials on W language development on WinDev Mobile. As we have been studying thus far, our training continues on using the W language provided by PCsoft to code on one of its platforms, which is WinDev Mobile, and we're using the 24th version. Today we are going to learn so many beautiful things. In our subsequent lessons, we went through an introductory notion of what WinDev Mobile was actually all about. And today, we will continue from where we ended. Remember, there are many beautiful ways in which you can handle so many things. And if you are a debutant, just follow us through. If you are an expert already, keep following us. As we go forward, we will have the opportunity to integrate more easier way and more sophisticated way in doing some certain tasks. I'm Kissinger K'Teck4Developers. Now, after successfully creating our database, a logical data model, we went further in creating two windows, that for contact and that for category. We will handle the window for category, manipulate all basics operations, save our categories, display them on a table still in this window, display it on a looper on a separate window, link it to the table to the window contact to enable us to automatically select a category when registering a contact. The first thing we are going to do is to start coding. Now, we remember vividly that we inserted this edit field and this button, whose design can be improved upon, and we will do so as we go further in our training program. Once you enter the new, in this new, you can right click and take code, or you press the keyboard shortcut F2. Now, if you look carefully, you are going to observe that there are two portions which are open. How do we handle this? You see, under the display, I can decide to zoom to over 150 or 200 ease visibility of coding. Okay. Now, these are called processes. You can add processes. This is to initialize a button. If you look carefully, the name of this button is btn new, which we can right click, go to description. We have here new, which is a caption, but we have btn new one, which is the name of that button. And all buttons start with the prefix btn, as we saw that all windows start with the prefix win, or editing field starts with the prefix edd, or static field starts with the prefix stc. Okay. Once you open the coding section, the window has now this and the code view, so you can always be navigating between the two simultaneously. Now you can add a process. You see, whenever you double click, you right click, depending on what you want to do. But our desire here is that when the button is clicked upon, so we'll remain here. Now, before we proceed, we are going to test basic functions. There is a first function we are going to be studying. The function is info, I-N-F-O. Info. What is info? Info is an output function in WinDev Mobile or all PCsoft product. Info is an output W language function. Now, when you put info, all you need to do is in the inverted commas open and close inside the bracket to put your text. For example, welcome to K2SO. Okay. They're no syntax, they're no semicolon and the others. See what this code is going to do. Now, you remember we have put it inside click. It means one who click this new is supposed to tell us welcome to K2SO. And that is it, welcome to K2SO. This is in the Android simulator. If you remember carefully, when we were manipulating in one of our videos, we created two configurations. This is a configuration for iOS, that is a configuration for Android. So let me switch to iOS and let's see the difference. I do the same test. And you see it in the simulator, in the Android simulator, right? You can see it in the Android simulator, iOS simulator. And once you click on new, welcome to K2SO. That is all. Now, what is our desire? Our desire is that when you click on the button, it should welcome a particular person to K2SO. And how do we get the name of that person or that category? We will use this category such that each time an input is inputted in the category field, edit field, it welcomes the text that is written there. And take note, what is the name of this category field? EDT_category, as you can see. The caption is name, but the name of the field is EDT_cat name. So we'll come back to our coding section. We'll come welcome here. We'll close the first inverted comma. We'll put our gap here. Remember the use of this gap so that the wording should not be joined. Plus EDT category. You know, we are summing three things. We are taking welcome, we sum plus the text found in EDT category plus to K2SO. Let's see the difference. If you can see carefully, see, once I press, when I input, for example, mango, it's supposed to give me welcome mango to K2SO. And I take new, welcome mango to K2SO. I come back, I change mango to Jojo. It's supposed to tell me welcome Jojo to K2SO. I change Jojo to blessing. It's supposed to tell me welcome blessing to K2SO. What if I change blessing to Kole? You see, it cannot go beyond this because the stipulated size for the category was not to go beyond. We have how many? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Put 10. Remember, right? You cannot go below that. But my intention here was to show the fact that when the name becomes longer, it will come on two lines. Welcome to K2. Welcome, go blessing to K2SO. Okay. Now, the rotating field, I hope you can remember in our previous video, we saw the rotating feature. Just to remind us. Okay. Now we have been able to successfully manage this, which is the info function. But to display in W language, there are many functions that are used as output functions. Info is one of them. But there's another function which is called ToastDisplay. ToastDisplay. The ToastDisplay function has the same thing like the info. You have the syntax ToastDisplay inverted comma open and close. You have the text, for example. Let me put the same text. But the difference between the ToastDisplay and the info is that you have the possibility to indicate the duration of show. The info displays and you will be in charge of clicking on the OK as we have seen to ensure that the window disappear and will perform the action. But for ToastDisplay, when you input what you want to input, which we have just done, you put a comma, is the duration, how long or short? Are you toasting long or toasting short? Toasting long means it will take a longer period of time. Toasting short means it will not take so much time. Short can take between 5 to 6 or 7 seconds. After the duration now, you have the manner in which it's supposed to be displayed. Is it in the middle or is it at the bottom or at the top? Let's say for example middle. Which portion of the middle is at the center? Of course, center. So we are saying that display welcome this shortly at the middle and at the center. Let's see what will be the effect. Okay, welcome Colette. You see. Okay. Welcome Colette to KT. So the reason why it's giving two output is because I didn't comment the info. So it's still giving me the info. And to comment double bars, we know. Let's try it now alone and see the effect. See, welcome Colette to KT. So there's no clickable. It will be on its own after it disappears. That is all. That is the use of the function. That is the difference between the ToastDisplay and the info function. So I hope we have been able to understand how to master the ToastDisplay and the info function. Now we are going to do basic conditioning. We are going to use this info. And we'll use basic conditioning to say, for example, if the field EDT underscore category is equals to empty, then what should happen? It should tell you, it should info you, Control X as we all know to cut. It should info you, please enter category. Else, if it's not empty, it should ToastDisplay welcome. Let's use this and then from there we'll add other codes. So our intention is okay. If the field is empty, it should indicate by saying it is empty. If it's not empty, it welcomes you. Okay. If you are with me, you can try. Pause a video and try to ensure that you're on board. Okay. Now, see it is empty, right? Let's take new and see what happens. Please enter category. Please enter category. Please enter category. So far as it's empty, we keep telling you, please enter category. Now, and I take for example, I input the category KDEF. Once I take new, welcome KDEF to K2Solve. So that is basic conditional formatting that we have been able to implement. Okay, so I've been able to use the EDT category on an info function and on a ToastDisplay. The info and the ToastDisplay will remember our output.w language function. But now there's one thing we did not notice. If it is empty, it should tell us it is empty and it should blink on the field that is empty. and that is handled by a function called setFocus. You set focus inside your bracket, the syntax. You select the field that you want to blink, and we have the field EDT card name. What would this set focus do? Let me comment it to see the difference between the two. Let's go back again to the simulator and test and see. See, once I take the enter, please enter category. It's not blinking. I'll need to come and click before it start blinking. Observe this blink. But now see the difference once I include the set focus function. Once I set focus, this is what will happen. Okay, let me take new. Please enter category. See, it's blinking. New, please enter category. It's blinking, so I don't need to type directly. Welcome, Coco, to K'Teck4Developers. So the set focus is such that if you have many fields on your window and a particular field empty, you should not be looking for that field. It should take you directly to the empty field. Now, we have been able to do this. But the next problem arises. What is the next problem? Let me go back there and show you. This is our next worry. Whenever I input a category, it tells me welcome, yes, but the category is not cleared off. It means each time I must come back and clear it, which is not supposed to be so. What do I need to do to ensure that that shouldn't happen? To ensure that this should not happen, I'll be obliged to add a new function, which the function is called RAS. R-A-Z. RAS. You can put either true or false. As you see, true, the edit control and the static control are initialized with their initial value. The browsing or memory list box, the combo, table, looper, are neither declared nor initialized. When you use true, it means that the combo, the looper, you can take time to read more. But when you take false, default value, the edit control and static control are initialized. Memory, everything is initialized. They are not declared. So, but I'll leave it empty for now. I'll neither use true or false. We're going to have time together to evaluate the RAS function. But my intention is just to play and initialize that particular edit field. See what is going to happen. Now, when I will perform the action like Polo, and I take new, welcome Polo to K'Teck4Developers. So, but what happened? It has cleared the screen. So I wouldn't need to go delete. Imagine I have 15 fields on my window and I'll need to go and delete to save a new field. So the RAS function help us to save ourselves the stress. So that have been the functions. The next function we are going to be looking at, if you have understood this, remember the RAS is to clear. But you take note that all what we have been doing, we have not saved it. Our work have just been to make sure it's not empty, setting focus that when it's empty, it gives us way to blink. It display that it welcomes us when it's not empty. Next, RAS was to clear the screen. But we need now to save. Now, if it is not empty, if it's empty, this should happen fine. But if it's not empty for the errors, ScreenToFile. ScreenToFile is a W language function that tells the compiler to save what is on the screen to a file, which is in the data file. Remember, file is data file. You can take time through the help to read more about ScreenToFile. Now, if there's ScreenToFile, of course, add. The prefix H in W language is mostly used when you want to work on a database. Add, modify, delete. We're going to see it as we go further. Add, where do we want to add? We want to add under the data file category. So with this, we are taking ScreenToFile take what is on the screen and save to the file. Add that which is on the file in the data file category. Display to us. Now we need to reframe this message. The category this successfully stored. The category this which will be obtained from here has been successfully stored. Okay, let's see if it saves. Polo. The category Polo has been successfully stored. Polo. The category Polo has been successfully stored. Coco. The category Coco has been successfully stored. You can add your name. Car for me. The category has been successfully stored. Okay. This shows us that we have been able to effectively manage these functions in W language. But now, before we display what we have been able to store, how can you know actually that it was stored? You come to your BD or DB, sorry, database, or DB in French, base de données. You come to your database, you right click on the data file, you take edit with WD map. If you see, I have 3 different selected physical file. Why? Because I had 3 different configuration. I had that for Apple Watch, I have that for Android, and I have for iOS. But remember, I was saving all my stuff in iOS, because if I take Android, see, our camera is going to be empty because I was saving nothing on the Android configuration. Most of my saving, because since I was using the iOS simulator, you see that all my files are saved under the iOS simulator. That is it. Now, the user won't come here all the time, and there are manners in which you can do this display. But I think at this juncture, we have been able to effectively manage basic functions in W language. The info, the setFocus, the ScreenToFile, the HR, the ToastDisplay, and the RAS. Those are 2, 4, 6 functions. And I'll plead with you and encourage you to keep testing these functions. Until we meet again, all I can say is ciao.